So hello, so nice to have you here, Joel.
Great to be here. Good evening.
Yes, yes, good day for you. I'm here all dark.
And I'm here all light.
I love that.
Although
And,
I'm sure it's much
huh?
warmer there.
Yes, yes, well, yes. Today, yes, these days, much, much
It's
warmer.
0 Celsius here.
No, no, here must be now 10 or 12 today. That's very good, very good. I'm really happy to have you here. Um, you and me, we spoke just once.
Yes.
More about a little bit explaining you about myself, but not me asking you anything or not knowing anything about you because we said we were going to do it today. We would have a conversation today. It was just a short intro that we had last time. So
Yes.
in reality, it's like for me, well, for me, it's being here, sitting with you, heart to heart, and being very, very happy to have you here, first of all, really.
Thank you. Thank you.
And secondly, it's really to for us to co-create a conversation, whatever comes out of this. It's what it is, and it will be beautiful and very nourishing because yeah, because I've seen you and I felt you and I have recognized you. So I know you're a beautiful soul.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I also know we probably have crossed paths before, maybe not
True.
in this lifetime, but in others.
Yes, yes. 100%. It's incredible, no? How you meet people nowadays we do it virtually, but it's like a friend.
Exactly. I met this woman in 2018 as part of a community, and we became accountability partners. And then when this book came out in
Uh-huh.
2019, The Nine Money Rules Millionaires Use, she asked me what I was going to do with it. And I said, I did it. It was like, she said, no, no, no. You should create a course. It's the nine money rules. You have a 9 week course.
Mm.
And I, I said, I do. And she said, yeah, I'll help you create it.
Oh,
And
wow.
so Chara Rodriguera and I co-created a course. And then at the end, I said to her, no, you just helped me so much. Why don't we just do it together? And so for the last 5 years, we've been teaching this 9 week course online. And it took about 4 years before I actually met her in person.
Oh, really? Oh,
and
nice.
and she lives one state over. I live in New York. She lives in New
Yes.
Jersey. But for
Ah,
years, we just knew each other this way.
wow. Wow. How incredible. And how
So
beautiful and no, really and magical because it's incredible. Yes. And that's co-creation. Yes, it comes from this recognizing the other one, no, in their wholeness and with the guru that this person is, and you know that together you can co-create something, whatever comes out of it will be really powerful.
I find, at least for me, part of my personality enjoys collaboration.
Hmm.
And I know that I'm expert in some areas, but definitely not expert in other areas.
Yes.
And so with Chara specifically, she's a yoga and meditation teacher. She created Soul Path Yoga. And so like she's really good over here
Yes.
in the meditations, the movement,
Hmm.
energy. And she's taught me a lot in that regard, but I'm still really good over
Yes.
here with money mindset and manifestation techniques and stock investing. So it works really well together as a co-facilitated course where she channels literally channels one of the rules that we teach that week, and then I go through the exercise.
Oh, wow. So it's really co-creation because you don't know the details of what she will be creating, and from there you're just creating what comes,
Yeah.
no? It's I love that. That's amazing. It's the power of the now.
Yes, and similar to what we're doing here today,
Yes, yes.
we didn't have a plan, and
No.
so each week when we teach the course, we don't have a I don't have
I
a
love
she doesn't
that.
have a plan. It's
I
just
love
what
that.
comes through, and it's for the people who are present, by the way, which is
Mm-hmm.
also really interesting because we've been doing it. We're starting again on February 4th, and we've done so that'll be our 10th time, and each time the rules don't change,
Yeah, yeah.
but what comes through changes because the people who are present need something different.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow we know what exactly the words they need to get the best support.
Yes, yes, yes. You know it because you are there and you feel it, and it's and you are in the heart, no, and giving. So you really resonate and you have this intuition, understanding what's necessary at the moment for those people.
Yes. Rule
Mm.
number two, by the way, in the book is
Yes,
intuition. Trust your intuition.
yes, yes. And number one?
Number one is when you believe.
Mm.
Belief is so critical in everything
Yes. Belief is,
because,
yeah,
sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I mean, belief is what we create from belief, no?
Yes. And we were taught things growing up
Yeah.
that we became to know as truths,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no truths. There's only limiting beliefs and empowering beliefs. And there's one truth. If you walk off the top of the Empire State Building, you will go
It
down.
will fall. Yes. That's the one
Everything
truth.
else is just a belief.
Yes.
And it's really interesting because we've been taught growing up that money might be evil, or
Mm-hmm.
rich people are criminals, or you can't trust them, or wanting money is wrong, it's not spiritual, and all beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
all beliefs. And or you were taught you have to work really, really hard to be rich and successful.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, when you're taking inspired action, it's not work, it's fun,
Yeah.
and you can become very successful taking inspired action.
Yes. I love
So
that.
belief is so critical in all aspects, and what you believe creates your life.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
If you have absolute faith that what you're doing is going to be helpful for humanity, you'll get it done somehow.
Yes. So true. That's true. Yeah. And that makes me wonder because you are you created a book and you are helping humanity. No, you're helping entrepreneurs. How did you come to do what you're doing? No, because I see you are creating what you love. No, but when we create what we love, and usually when we do that, we are helping others, empowering others. But we have an experience behind us,
Yes.
no, that has led us to empower others with what we went through.
Yes. So I spent most of my career in finance
Mm-hmm.
as an actuary, credit analyst, equity analyst, portfolio manager, managing money for a large US and international bank. And then I had my own fund managing money. And the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is why I'm coaching people is I went to a personal development course when I was a hedge fund manager, in order to get my fund to the next level. And two things happened there that completely changed my life. One was we had a guest speaker speaking about stocks and stock options. And when he spoke about stock options, he made it sound easy. He said, you don't need much time, you don't need much money. This is how the rich people get rich, and options are essentially risk free. And
Mm.
I was sick to my stomach. It was day 2 of the course. He was speaking for an hour, and people were tapping me on the shoulder, whispering, Joel, does this make sense? Are options really risk free? And so after he was done, we went out of the auditorium. I told him, please don't do this. He has no idea about any of you individually, and most importantly, no idea about your
Mhm.
belief that
Mhm.
you could become rich using options. So that was the first thing that happened. The second was that we were given a wooden board 2 inches thick, and we were told we are going to break it with our bare hand. Have you done that, Jeanette?
No, but I've seen that.
So the exercise was called Obstacles Are Illusions. And on
Oh,
one side of the board, we had to write our biggest obstacle. And then on the other side, our ultimate goal, which stumped me for a few minutes. And then it hit me. Make everyone in this room financially free. Make everyone in this room financially free.
no.
That's my ultimate goal. And then I broke the board like
Uh-huh.
everyone else did that day.
Uh-huh.
Went home that night and I couldn't sleep. First, the guy was in my head.
Yeah.
And I realized if I could ever get up the courage to speak on a stage, my biggest fear that day was public speaking. I could be authentic and not lie to people and be of service. And then the second thing going on my head at 3:34 in the morning was that wooden board staring back at me from across my bedroom. Make everyone in this room financially free.
Wow.
And then it hit me at 4:30. I jumped out of bed. I quickly got dressed. I was at my office in Midtown Manhattan before the sun rose.
Uh-huh.
And I sent an email to my investors telling them I'm giving them their money back. I'm shutting down my fund.
Oh,
I
wow.
figured out my true purpose in life.
Oh, wow. Wow, how beautiful. Really, it's really amazing, no? Because when you know, you know.
Yeah, I was done. I was done. I mean,
Wow,
you can't
incredible.
legally shut down a fund in the United
No.
States that way. So it took a long time. My
Mm,
lawyer wasn't happy and my
mm.
CFO was less happy. But I when your heart's not in something,
Yeah.
then you're not going to be successful at it, and you'll be going where your heart goes.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. I can understand that now. I mean, these days that I have resigned about 2 weeks ago. Also because of what my heart is telling, no? So if your heart is going somewhere, you just follow your heart. Yes.
And I understand there may be people watching, listening who can't
Mm-hmm.
just jump like I did.
Yeah.
So I will tell you to take baby steps in the direction of your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And I can help you. I give everybody 30 minutes free, by the way.
Mm.
I'd love to help anybody who's they want to
Yeah.
make the move to their purpose, but they're, they see the bills. I just got off a call with a woman who's doing what she's doing because of the bills.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked her the question that I love asking everybody in the world. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask you, Jeanette, and
Yes.
I think
Yes.
I know the answer, but you just won the lottery
Mm-hmm.
twice. You have
Mm-hmm.
all the money for this lifetime and for the next 5 lifetimes,
Wow.
but you have to work 2 to 3 hours per day. What would you do?
And I would do what I'm going to do. Yes. That's why I jumped off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I asked this woman the question, who's a virtual assistant, and she said, I want to start a foundation to help single mothers with young children, support them so that they can not only be good parents, but also live their dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. And let's get started doing that.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that hurts my heart when she's so focused on this bill that she's putting that aside, when she can take steps to live that dream so that that dream can become a reality much quicker.
Yes, yes. I love that. Yeah. I told myself 20 years ago that I would never see one day pass by that in which I would say I should have. Yeah, but it takes courage and time to really decide and say, okay, now I'm going to do it, to
Courage,
jump, yeah,
yes.
courage to jump off the cliff. And with the trust that everything will be okay. And because you're doing or starting with something that you're loving, and that everything will be solved, especially like what you're saying, money issues, which we all have. And yeah.
Back to rule number one, you have to
Mm-hmm.
believe.
Yeah.
You have to have faith and believe that because you're doing what your heart is desiring, that the prosperity and abundance will flow.
Mm.
And when you have absolute faith, it does. But when you have doubt and you have massive doubt, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're back to rule number one.
Yes. So you help with the belief, you help with each of the rules for people to change.
Yes. So that they can live the life of their dreams,
Mm.
do what they
Super.
love, and become prosperous while doing it.
Yeah, yeah, because they change their mindset, beliefs, and everything, so that the abundance can come in. No.
Yes. So yeah, belief is probably the most important rule, but there's others that are very important, like gratitude and
Mm.
appreciation. What you appreciate appreciates.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what do you appreciate? Write it down every morning and every night and really get into the feeling of it.
Mm.
So, I teach that everything is energy, money is energy, and vibration and frequency and energy are very important. And so, up here at the highest level is love, joy, passion, and appreciation and gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can vibrate up here in that frequency, you're also vibrating in prosperity and abundance.
Yeah.
But if you're down here in doubt or worry or fear or sadness or anger, that frequency is not consistent with abundance and prosperity. So you can't get here from here.
Yeah. You're blocking it yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Here's one really powerful technique, and which I think people get confused about when they hear about the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm. That's important, yeah, to say. Yeah. I would love to hear that. Yeah.
So we're taught to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Ask and you shall receive. When you're continuing to ask,
Mm-hmm.
there's a gap between what you want and what you're asking for. If you're over here and asking, you don't have it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you continue to ask and ask and ask, you're telling the universe, I want something. And if you look up the original definition of want, it equals lack.
Mm-hmm.
That's not abundance and prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
So we're taught by law of attraction, ask and you shall receive. But you don't have to ask millions of times. If you ask a few times, I have a technique that I teach my clients. I tell them to ask for 30 days and then let go. You've asked, the universe has answered. Stop asking. It's on its way. But you have to believe it's on its way. So even if it takes a year, or 2 years and it's a big ask, it's okay because you've asked, and there's time is a human construct.
Yeah.
So a year or two is like that. It's now.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And so stop asking. That is a very powerful technique that I teach is stop asking. Ask is not getting you what you want. Know that it's on its way, and then it's on its way.
Yeah. Yeah. I had an experience like that about 1 year ago, but it had to do with a family member that was sick, and I went swimming, and I was showering, and I was asking if the treatment that he was given was okay, if it was soft. And I said, and I was asking inside, I was saying, please, please, please. And when I said, please, 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 I said to myself, no, you don't have to ask. It's a given, no? You have to feel that it's given. And as soon as I said that, I felt something, a voice, whatever, myself, I don't know, but it was a knowing that said, it's done. And it gave me such a joy. And today it's done, no? But it gave me such a joy of knowing that it was done,
Yes.
no? But it was because I changed from the asking and the please from the outside into the saying, Jeannette, thank, change it. It's give thanks because it's given, no? And
Right.
then when I felt it's done.
Yeah, giving thanks again, that's appreciation. It's rule number 5,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what you appreciate. So just be grateful now
Mm-hmm.
as if it's
Yes.
already happened.
Yes.
Right. And then and no, by the way, knowing is on the scale of 1 to 10 on belief, where 1 is massive doubt, knowing is 10. It's like absolute faith. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it is
Mm-hmm.
done.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, when you know it to be done and you're a 10 on the belief scale, that's rule number 1. It is done.
It's done. That's it done. It's such an incredible experience, and yeah, it's so magical when it happens. That is it's really, you say, I know, I knew, you know.
Right.
Yes.
So my experience with money manifestation came from reading the book The Secret and Think
Mm-hmm.
and Grow Rich. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Think and Grow Rich, I actually happen to have right here by Napoleon Hill.
Mm-hmm.
And so I read The Secret, and it talked about this guy who thought about this feather. And every morning he woke up, he thought about the feather. Every night before he went to sleep, he thought about the feather. And it wasn't any old feather, it was a feather with etchings and carvings in it, beautiful colors. And then one day he's walking down the street and he sees the exact feather he had thought about in his head. And then I said to myself, I'm going to try. So I don't know why, but I thought of cotton balls,
Uh-huh.
pure white cotton balls.
Yeah.
And this was February of 2008. Every morning, woke up, thought about cotton balls. Every night before I went to sleep, I thought about cotton balls day after day. And here in New York, it got warm enough in April of 2008 that I started jogging with my daughters. So actually, I was jogging. I was pushing them in a double jogging stroller because they were 2 and 4.
Mm-hmm.
And we would run to this track, run around the track, run to this park, run up the hill, run to the playground, and then I'd get them out of the double jogging stroller. I'd push them down the swings, push them on the swings, I push them down the slide, and then they get back in and I'd jog home. So that was my break.
Yeah.
So I started doing that in April. May 31st, 2008, we get into the double jogging stroller. We run around the track a couple of times, get to the park, run up the hill, get to the playground. I'm getting them out of the double jogging stroller. I look down, I see all over the park, not one, not two, but dozens and dozens of cotton balls.
Wow.
Lauren, pick up the cotton balls. Morgan, pick up the cotton balls. So I was like, okay, I co-created.
Mm-hmm.
And then in The Secret, it talked about, and then Think Grow Rich, it talks about how to manifest money. So I printed out a check from the Gratitude Bank of the Universe, 10 times what I'd ever made in my life. And I put that check on my ceiling. And I said, I don't know how, and I don't know why, but I do know it's coming. And a few months later, I was in the shower. And I remember this feeling coming over me of complete knowing it was done. Not here in the physical reality,
No,
but it was
no.
done. 2008, I was managing money for that large bank,
Yeah.
and it was a terrible year in the stock market. We barely made any money. I did make a little bit of money. The stock market was down here in the US 40%, and we made a little bit of money. 2009 was better. And on January 10th of 2010, my boss called me into a conference room. He said, Joel, you had a good year last year. He slips a piece of paper to me. I flipped it over. It was within $1,000 of the check I had up on the ceiling for the last 18 months.
Wow.
So it took time from being in the shower and knowing
Mm-hmm.
to the actual physical reality of happening. But I say there's no, it
Yeah.
was, time is a human construct. And for the universe, that was instantaneous.
Yeah. That's incredible. It's so nice. Yeah. Yes, when you know, and then you just trust and you believe, and it comes because
And
it's there,
rule
no?
number, yeah. And rule number two is trust your intuition.
Yeah.
So people ask me, how do you develop your intuition? And I say, it's like any other muscle.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to the gym and do my bicep curls. So develop your intuition every chance you get. You're making hundreds of decisions every day. So consciously say, okay, I'm going to use my intuition. Maybe you're in Manhattan, you're on the subway platform and the local train is sitting there and the express is coming in just a few minutes. So what do? Local express.
Mm-hmm.
Trust your gut. Just close your eyes. I used to play this game with my daughters when they were younger. We'd go on vacation, we'd be in the hotel, and there's 2 or 4 elevators. Close your eyes. Let's guess which one's coming next.
Mm-hmm.
That's just getting into your intuition, getting into your instinct, and developing it.
Yeah.
And so you can develop it. And it was interesting. I recently had a conversation with a woman who told me, well, for you, you can use your intuition when it comes to stock investing, but not for me. And I said, I disagree. You
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
develop that muscle. You can play with it, stock symbols, get a list of letters and just see what jumps out at you, what feels right, and do that every day. And I'm pretty sure after a couple of weeks or months, or maybe even shorter, you're gonna find some pretty good ideas
Mm-hmm.
that will make you a lot of money when you believe.
When
So
you
rule number
believe.
1 and 2 together, belief and intuition.
Yes. It's very important. Yes. And it's true, it's a muscle. I always say it's exploration, experiencing, and practicing. No,
Yes.
and then listening inside, listening to your intuition. And
Because
then
I say we're born with it. We're
yeah.
born with that power. And then well-meaning humans
Mm-hmm.
teach us otherwise, that, oh, that's crazy, put that aside, don't. And so most of us, unless you had parents or colleagues or friends or teachers that said, oh yeah, let's hear more, which is rare if that happens. But yeah, so it's pushed down and it's repressed. And so then we forget that we even have it. And yet it's our most powerful tool.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk about it in my book, how I see stock symbols and license plates
Oh, yes.
to this day. I'll be driving along and I'll
Uh-huh.
see three letters and I'm like, oh my God, that's a stock. I need to, for me, the universe is telling me, pay attention. It's
Yeah.
not it's going up or it's going down. It's pay attention, do some research. Something's about to happen. You can make some money here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a guide. And the first time it happened in 2010, I got cut off on the West Side Highway in Manhattan. I was, oh, what is this guy? And then I looked at the license plate. I was like, oh my God, AMG. I own that stock. And I immediately called my
Wow.
trader and we bought
Yeah.
more. And it was up 30% in 3 weeks, which is annualized. That's 50 times your money.
Oh, oh. Incredible.
So I've been listening ever since.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Imagine. I would too. Yeah. Yeah, and in the listening is the intuition because you can see the number plate and say, okay, that's the stock, and nothing else. But if you listen to your intuition, you know there's something that relates to that, and then you have to respond to it.
Take action. Take
Take
action.
action. Yeah.
That's the other part of it is
Yeah.
a lot of people, and I will tell you in the book, I talk about this a lot. A lot of times I didn't listen to my intuition.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't listen to my intuition while I was a fund manager, I either lost money or made less money. So
Mm.
then I started listening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
The hard way, yeah.
yes, the hard way. And I remember one of my colleagues in my mastermind group, when I had first started with my own fund, she told me, why aren't you listening?
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's my own company now. Like people will think I'm crazy if I say, oh, I saw a license plate. And she said, well, start small. So I started small and worked really well. So I started getting bigger and bigger. And I talk about in the book how I saw this one stock symbol 10 times in one day,
Oh,
which
oh.
the probability is 1 in 8 trillion. I
Really?
calculated it 1 in 8 trillion, impossible. And so we bought more every time I saw the symbol. We already owned the stock. And that was January of 2014. In August of 2014, the company got acquired by another company. It was up 40% that day.
Wow.
We made more money on that day than any other day while I was a fund manager.
Wow. And like you were saying before, no? As kids, we grow and up and we are told not to listen to those things, but also as adults, like what you're saying now, we are afraid to show that we are being guided not by our intuition because we are afraid that we are just being banalized or I don't know, saying that you're crazy. And at the end, I, I would say beautifully said, not going against anyone, but the crazies are the ones that don't do that, no, at the end, because
Right.
it's well, if it's bringing prosperity, it's bringing abundance, it's bringing joy, it's bringing so many things. Listening to the heart of intuition, why not do that?
Right.
You
Right.
don't
And
lose
and
anything.
and and it's because, like you said, and like I said, we're taught growing up, you have to touch it, you have to feel, you have to do. So I have many years. I'm a chartered financial analyst. I'm an actuary. I have many years of analytical
Mm-hmm.
training and experience and knowledge and books and books and books that I've read. And so it's do the analysis. And
Yes,
then when you get this,
yes,
oh, you saw a license, it's like, what about all those years of analysis, all those years of training, all those degrees that you have, and PhD, right? So,
yes. Doesn't matter. They're more part of the experience because through that you're reading and you're applying and taking in what serves you, but not the important for me that I've learned is not to really, if I read a book and there are methodology or something, it's just to discern and see what serves me. It doesn't mean everything will serve me, because I've been through that by following another one, a book, I've forgotten about how I did something, meditation. Okay, I was from the start in the bliss state. I could be 1 hour, 2 hours. It was beautiful, but I thought I wasn't able to do it. I don't know why, because it was so simple for me. So I thought that must not be it. And then I followed the book and how to meditate, and I lost. At that time, I had lost for many years. I had lost my way of meditate, because I just followed another one. So I put my thing in a jar, let's say, on the
Right.
side, yeah, just because not believing that I was able to do it my way, simple, but in my way. And that was what people are searching for.
Right.
No?
And similarly, I teach, you heard that the reason I'm doing what I'm doing is that guy stood up on stage and said, stock options,
Yes.
that's the way to become rich. And the reason
Yes.
why I'm doing what I'm doing is I teach there's almost an infinite number of ways to become rich,
Mm-hmm.
to become prosperous, to become abundant.
Yes.
And for you, it's probably not stock options. Out of the 200 people in the room, maybe 5, it was stock options. But for the other 195, it was something else. It could have been their business or stocks or bonds or crypto or real
Yeah.
estate. I mean, or the lottery even.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just so many ways. Or it could be YouTube monetization or TikTok or whatever, right? So to say this is the way, I teach that you have to find what resonates. I'll teach you a lot of different things, but you have to find what motivates you through your heart, through your
Yes.
soul, what lights you up,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I'll teach you whatever you want to learn. Like if you want to learn about property and real estate, I'll teach you that. I'm happy to do that. But I'm not going to teach you that if you have no interest and your
Mm-hmm.
heart's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, I think, what's really important for my process is for people to understand that I'm not going to just teach you what I love. I mean, I love stocks and I love investing in stocks. If you do too, I'll help you. And I've helped 15, 20 people learn about stocks. I'm happy to do that. But if you have no interest, I'm not going to teach you that.
Yes, because then again we go into the mind. I want to be rich because the mind is telling me, but not because you're following your heart. You're unique. So as you are unique, you have your way of becoming abundant. But it's through your way, not through your uniqueness, through your beingness.
Right.
Mm, so nice to hear that. Really appreciate what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe one day I'm one of the ones you have called. Because yeah, it's very nice. I love what you do, and I love that you highlight co-creation, not only in working with others through co-creation, which you do with your course, but also because you are co-creating with the universe.
And I'm glad you brought that up again because I wanted to mention this happened this week, which I've been doing this for 7 years, and
Mm-hmm.
it's the first time I heard this, and I'm glad I did because I'm learning and I'm all about learning and growing every day.
Yeah, I love that.
And so somebody who I gave a manifestation technique to, and she actually manifested 25,000 US dollars in 1 month.
Oh.
And she told me that she didn't follow my process,
Mm-hmm.
which was to use the exact words I gave her. And she didn't use those exact words because I gave her the word manifest in that affirmation. And she said it didn't resonate with her
Mm-hmm.
because she is a religious woman. And so she changed those words because it had a negative connotation to her. And it was the first time I heard somebody tell me that the word manifest has a negative connotation. And apparently it does to some populations.
Mm-hmm.
So she said she changed it to co-creation.
Mm, oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, like I don't, again, I believe everyone has the ability to become abundant, prosperous, and live the life of your dreams. So I'm not professing like this is the only way again. So I'm grateful that she told me. And then she was telling a friend of hers who also it didn't resonate. The words I gave her didn't resonate with. So she was using the word co-create as well. So it's good to know that again, there's an infinite number of ways to become prosperous.
Yes.
And just by tweaking different words that if something doesn't resonate, don't do it.
Mm-mm. It's what you were saying before. No, it's the belief. If I'm going to speak some words, I have to believe in them. So I again, the teacher tells me to do it in some way, and I just take in the way I feel it's good for me, and I change for what is good for me, and then I'm able to well to get to the what I want,
Co-create.
no, to the
Yeah.
co-creation part, which is beautiful. I love co-creation. I think
Yes.
it's the future of the world, co-creation. Co-creation
Yes.
is it's everything.
And tapping into that knowledge is
Yeah.
important.
Yes.
Being open, I think, or being open-minded is critical to success, I
Mm-hmm.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, hearing about different methods, some people say this is the way to manifest, this is the way to co-create.
Their
No, I
way.
mean, it's their way. And so in fact, I just read a book called The 72 Keys to Manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
This woman gives 72 different ways,
Mm-hmm.
whatever works.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm teaching them in my Money Miracles membership. And because I have my 10 that I teach, but I'm like, look, maybe none of those resonate with you guys. So let me give you other methods. And if they feel good, then try that, do it and see what happens. Because right now, you're not yet financially free. And I want you to be, and I want to let's learn whatever we can learn to get there.
Yes.
And if there's another technique out there that resonates with you that lights your heart up, then that's probably going to work better.
Yes. Yes. There's infinite ways. For everyone, we're infinite beings, so that there's so many opportunities, no? Each of us is so unique, so limitless.
Yeah. I say we're all unique and we're all the same.
Yes, which we are. And we are all perfectly imperfect.
But I'll then challenge that and say I think you're perfect just as you are.
Well, yes, yes, but it's you're perfect the way it is you are. Yes, 100%. You're perfectly imperfect because we are learning and growing every day, and then yeah. So there's everything again. There's so many options. No, we are all beautiful beings, limitless ones, unique and all the same. Yes. Well, thank you so much, Joel. Thank you so much for sharing with me this space, for co-creating with me through who you are, and for creating what you're creating. That you're empowering and supporting so many others for them to grow
Thank you
and
for
be
having
rich.
me, Jeanette. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time, and let's help more people
Yeah.
live the life of their dreams.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.